Do you want to experience the wonder of wild places? Are you looking for fun, adventure and challenge that the outdoors has to offer? Do you see the environment as something that we are all part of? This is the John Muir Award, and it's for you. The John Muir Award is about discovering and exploring wild places for yourself. It's about conserving them and sharing your experiences. It encourages as many people as possible to enjoy, value and take responsibility for wild places that are close to home and further afield. It's for anyone and everyone who wants to get involved. Here, you'll see what the John Muir Award is all about and how you can get involved.
Having a good time and meeting lots of different people, getting to do things you wouldn't usually do in everyday life, getting to camp wild, which is really good fun, and see the world from a different perspective. So seeing it from the river, and then you see it from the mountains if you're walking.
Well, the big advantage of John Muir for us here at Red Hall is that anyone can participate. It does not depend on people's levels of ability, and it means that people who've maybe never had any kind of chance to gain a certificate before can do so.
I think it's been really good. I think it's good for young people to be able to sort of have this kind of experience in the outdoors.
Teamwork. That's what I'm going to say.
The John Muir Award started in 1997 in Dunbar, near Edinburgh. This is where John Muir was born in 1838. Many think of him as the founding father of the modern conservation movement. He was inspired by his experiences of the outdoors and wrote about his early years growing up in Dunbar.
When I was a boy in Scotland, I was fond of everything that was wild. And all my life I've been growing fonder and fonder of wild places and wild creatures. Fortunately, around my native town of Dunbar by the stormy North Sea, there was no lack of wildness. With red-blooded playmates wild as myself, I loved to wander in the fields, to hear the birds sing, and along the seashore to gaze and wonder at the shells and seaweeds, eels and crabs in the pools among the rocks when the tide was low.
When he was 11, John Muir and his family emigrated to America. And here he found fame as a botanist, glaciologist and mountaineer. He pioneered what we now call ecology, looking at how the nature of the world, including humans, is all connected.
When we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe.
Muir became very aware of the threats to wild places and was the first to clearly call for their conservation. He led the way in Yosemite in California, which became one of the world's first national parks, and helped set up the Sierra Club, which is now one of the main campaigning groups for the environment in the world. The John Muir Award is the main educational initiative of the John Muir Trust. The Trust itself is a charity which aims to save and conserve wild places in the United Kingdom. By buying areas of wild land and managing them in partnership with local communities of interest, the John Muir Trust is trying to conserve land in a sustainable way for the human, the animal, and the plant communities that share it. The John Muir Award was set up to get more people involved in wild places. Muir's message was that everybody needs beauty as well as bread, and that wildness is a necessity.
He was a man who saw great beauty in all nature's works and who communicated his wonder to the world.
Thousands of tired, nerve-shaken, over-civilised people are beginning to find out that going to the mountains is going home. That wildness is a necessity, and that mountain parks and reservations are useful not only as fountains of timber and irrigating rivers, but as fountains of life.
By taking part in the John Muir Award, there really is the opportunity to become more aware and tuned in to wild places, to learn about them, and to do something for them.